Dear students, today we will continue discussing about the cyclotron. We have discussed earlier in part 1 that cyclotron is a device which is used to accelerate the charged particles. And what will be the theory we have already discussed, the experimental setup we have already discussed. We release a charged particle at the center of the accelerator, that is the central part between the two D's, which is the gap area, and as the charge is released, finding some favorable electric field, it accelerates and reaches the cavity of D. Once it reaches there, the electric field no longer exists within the D, but the charged particle is forced to move on a circular path given by the Lorentz force. And once it again reaches the gap between the two D's, again it finds the favorable field due to variable EMF, alternating EMF applied by the alternating source. The time in which the polarity of alternating source changes, in the same time the charge is made to reach the gap of the D. And that way, each time the charged particle enters the gap, it is accelerated, and each time it enters the D area, it is forced to move on a circular path, but with a greater radius, and as a result, it will follow the path having radius equal to this much. How we got it? We equated this force, Lorentz force, equal to the centripetal force mv square, and then on solving this relation we get the radius value equal to mpv by qb. And also from this relation we have velocity v is equal to qp br by mp, where q is the charge, b is the magnetic field applied across in the vertical direction across the cyclotron, divided by mass of the charged particle. And once we know the value of velocity, we can find the kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, which we got q square b square r square by mp into half. So also we can also find the linear momentum of the accelerated particle given by mass into velocity. Mass is mp, we have considered the mass of the charged particle to be mp, into the value of velocity, that becomes q dr. So in both these equations, what you see that the kinetic energy as well as the linear momentum both depends on the radius. Greater is the radius, greater is the value of kinetic energy of the charged particle, greater is the value of linear momentum of the charged particle. Now this will help us to bring greater impact on the nucleus of any atom or molecule with whom we want to do experimental works. So the charged particle now is having greater kinetic energy, and that has great many applications for research work, for understanding the interior of the atom and molecules, and for all various purposes we need high energy particles and do the required experiment with it. Here you see how we eject the charged particle from the cyclotron. Once the radius of the charged particle getting accelerated becomes large, once it becomes comparable to the radius of the cyclotron, then no longer we can accelerate it, otherwise it will collide with the wall of the cyclotron, and the charge will be lost. So before that happens, we introduce a reflector in the path of the charged particle, and that charged particle is made to emerge out through the window which is cut in the walls of the cyclotron. So that is how we get the high energy charged particle. Now there are certain uses we have just discussed. It is used to accelerate the charged particle. It is used for research work. It is used to trigger the nuclear reactions, and many other applications are there in high energy physics. Now it is having limitations as well. Now once you start increasing the velocity of the charged particle, what happens? The relativistic mass of the charged particle increases. Yes, so it becomes so large that you no longer can accelerate it, because the mass becomes nearly infinite. And once this happens, even if the charged particle is given energy, we are not able to accelerate it. So because the reason is that mass is greater. Here you see the velocity is reciprocal to the mass. If the mass of the charged particle becomes higher due to relativistic effect, therefore the velocity will no longer be able to increase by the same force applied by the Lorentz force. You see, velocity will not increase because the mass now is becoming more larger. So more and more energy is required. Greater area of the cyclotron will be required. For greater energy we need greater radius, and for greater radius we need greater amount of magnetic field, and that magnetic field energy consumes lot of energy. So that way this experiment is having the limitation, this device is having the limitation that it is very energy consuming device. Secondly, the speed of the charged particle will be limited, especially when it is a lighter charged particle. You cannot accelerate it to greater kinetic energy. But for heavier particles you can accelerate it, because even at lower speed its kinetic energy will be appreciable, because at lower speed the relativistic mass is not changing appreciably. Also in this apparatus we see that for greater energy we need greater radius, and for greater radius we need greater structure, greater energy consumption and all that. So that becomes more and more difficult to maintain magnetic field in such a large area. So these are the limitations of this device. However, we must appreciate that this device was able to bring a breakthrough in the experimental physics. Thank you and have a nice day.